Hello everyone and welcome back to the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. In the last episode we continued on with Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, continued on with Turnabout for Tomorrow, the last main episode in the Dual Destinies game, up until the special episode which was originally DLC. However, in the last episode we had found out that someone, most likely being Aura Blackwill, was actually taking hostages. Yeah, you heard me right, hostages. One of those hostages was Trucy. Yes, it was. I had to think for a second and it was Trucy, because by weird miracle, we got a letter from Maya, of all people. Pearl came back, and the weirdest one of all, Edgeworth. So we were talking to Edgeworth and examining the robot center. But yeah, we were examining the robot center, and Edgeworth was here helping us investigate. So let's have a look around. What's this? A giant robot arm, maybe?
Yeah, it's pretty big for an arm, but you're right. I think these thin parts are here are V-bones. Maybe they're as long as my legs.
And there's a big ball and giant drill on the floor, too. Is Zora trying to build some kind of weapon of massive destruction?
Maybe she wants to use it to demolish a big building or something.
I can picture her gleefully tearing down the street doing just that. Oh, I'd better not think about it anymore. What's this? Looks like a giant power plug. It's attached to what looks like an electric vehicle charging station.
It's a charging station for us robots. We come here periodically and charge ourselves up.
Wow. Machines that maintain themselves. That's pretty cool.
Our batteries run out, we lose consciousness. We never know what Miss Aura will do to us while we're down, you see.
Well, it motivates quite like fear, huh? Hey, look at this row of rolling cases. It will make it easier for people to move heavy research materials around.
You bet they'd be fun to ride around in. And you even probably don't fit into the biggest one. I know, we're gonna have Prosecutor Edgeworth push us.
I don't trust him not to push us down a flight of stairs. Anything else? Anything else? That looks to wrap up everything on this side. An emergency ladder. This must be the one they used during the evacuation. Give me a second, apologies. Okay, there we go. Apologies. That's better. And we're back.
The explosion disabled the elevators, so I loaded up my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to.
As Miss Blackwell was climbing down the side of the building, she saw the culprit inside. I wonder which would have been scarier. That or looking down. It looks like an operating table. It's in the photo too, yes. It was here then as well, with the victim's body laying on it.
Here's a button here. Oh, I know, it's not pushing it.
Pearls, don't touch the...
Oopsie.
Duh! Yeah, it's actually doing something. Ooh, what? Hey, it's moving. And it's making robots. It appears to be a robot assembly device.
Disassemble anything in Flash. Push the dismantle button.
Sounds pretty neat.
Can I push it, Mr. Nick?
Please don't push any more buttons, Pearls. What are you pointing at here? Warren's desk is a mess, though that doesn't surprise me.
I just want to dive in and straighten it up.
Wait, before you do...
Metis.
Huh? You just glanced over at a desk. It's Metis Sykes. Conco, can I talk to you? I really hope he's back to normal.
You wish to speak to me, Mr. Wright? You're going to hit me. Please avoid the face error.
You don't want me in the same class as that woman. What was Aura like 7 years ago at the time of the incident?
When Mother died, Miss Aura was... confused.
Huh. So he calls Dr. Sykes mother, but Aura Blackwell Miss Aura.
When the last she exhibited a severe... severe imbalance.
I'm not even... Catecholamine. Catecholamine. Yeah, look at me with spot words.
Excuse me, I have no idea what that means. Pardon me, searching for alternative expression. She would spend the nights crying and then take out her feelings on those around her.
After Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty, she repeatedly demanded a retrial as well.
That is correct, but without new evidence, her requests were ignored. And then, little by little, Miss Aura began to change. She started to hate it when I called her Mama Aura.
And before long, she started hating the court system and abusing Clonco. Ah.
That murder destroyed so many lives. Why am I turning into Marge Simpson? Ah!
Right. Take a look at this paper on Dr. Sykes and Miss All Blackwell's research. Clonco. They're the robots with hearts that Dr. Sykes created. Can determine the presence of a human with their heartbeat detection system. Okay. Before I read Phoenix's line, can determine the presence of a human with their heartbeat detection system. Recognizing people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag. Oh! Oh! That's why when Apollo was wearing Clay's jacket, whichever one of the robots, I think it was Clonco, whichever one it was, mistook Apollo for Clay because of the ID tag. Interesting. Can also recognize a person by facial features once the face has been registered. Also interesting, so Apollo's face hadn't been registered at the time. Interesting. Can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice and communicate with them. Very much like the daughter, Athena. Interesting. A heartbeat detection system lets them determine when a human is present. In addition, they can recognize people by their ID tag or facial features. And they can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice. It's amazing! Hey, I don't know, Edgeworth. They might be even more human than you. What's that supposed to mean? Kind of sounds like these robots can do what Athena does. Well, I guess that about does it for this room. So what do you think, right? Any ideas? There's still a lot of gaps in the evidence. But I'll pull it off. Somehow. After all, you asked me to prove Blackwell's innocence, right, Edgeworth?
What? He did?
Yep. He called it a special request. He reached out to me while I was still disbarred.
So that was what sparked you to get your attorney's badge back?
Yep. The Blackwell case. Right. I have a special request. I wanted to clear one of my subordinates of suspicion. Hey, I'm not even a lawyer anymore. Remember? I haven't been for one for a long time. That 8-year misunderstanding has been cleared up and you must be eager to return. I'm sure you're familiar with the other case that ushered in the Dark Age of the Law.
Wait. So this and Phoenix's case for the Apollo Justice game ushered in the Dark Age of the Law. So Phoenix and Blackwell ushered in the Dark... Wow. Even though Phoenix was cleared of all suspicion, in that case, technically he still ushered in the Dark Age of the Law. Right, okay. Makes complete... I mean, again, yes, you're also talking about Blackwell, but still...
Very soon a convict will stand as a prosecutor in court. I want you to keep an eye on him.
Oh... Just when I was beginning to actually like the job I have now.
Right. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. Look, because of the espionage aspect, I wasn't free to give you all the details.
Hey, no need to apologize.
Like I said on the phone the other day, I know the type of criminals you're after now aren't small fries anymore. Looks like your target finally decided to make a move. Yeah, it's for this very reason I returned. Time to bring it to an end. I'm going to end the Dark Age of the Law. That's what this is all about.
The absolute silence in this at the minute is astounding. Dark Age of the Law? I'm sure it comes up a lot these days on TV and in the papers. And I hear there are more false charges and fabrication of evidence than ever.
When I became chief prosecutor, the court system had already lost the people's trust.
Which is very interesting, because again, I wonder if the thing is still going on. The... what's it called? The court system thing that they were trying out in Apollo's game. Whatever it was called, I can't remember. The thingy system, I can't remember.
It all began 8 years ago. A lawyer was caught of fabricating evidence. A year after that, a prosecutor was found guilty of murder.
Wait, do you mean?
That's right. He's talking about my case and Prosecutor Blackwell's. It was a downward spiral after that. An absolute nightmare. After those two cases, the mass media launched an all-out attack on the courts. Public opinion was tainted, and before long, the legal world itself was sucked into it.
It's such a shame. Once suspicion forms, it's very hard to shake.
Lawyers and prosecutors were forced to trust each other, pursue the truth together.
Wait for it. Dun 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 dun. So cyber people begin to cast doubt. They start lying to themselves and each other.
Yes, and do absolutely anything to win. We're in an age now where winning is valued far more than the truth. I'm sure it's caused our new chief prosecutor to lose many a night's rest. Is it just me, or did his brow just get even more furrowed the last time I saw him? The hostage taker's disdain for the courts is a perfect example of the times. Sure is. So, do you have any idea who the hostage taker might be? Well, somebody who mistrusts the court system and who can manipulate robots. It can really only be Aura or a Blackwell. Who else but her would want a retrial of that case from 7 years ago so badly? Simon Blackwell's older sister and the owner of this room. I agree with your conclusion. Perhaps she intended to force Miss Sykes to confess. Actually, I think she had much more horrific plan in mind for Athena. The important thing is for you to solve UR1 and prove Blackwell's innocence. And maybe she'll release the hostages. I'm counting on you, right? To set that prosecutor and those hostages free. And I'll be counting on you in court to help me too. Of course. I'll do everything I can to help uncover the truth. This is an official trial. I'm more at liberty to be a little unorthodox.
Mr. Wright, are you finished with your investigation?
Yeah. But I'd like you to tell the hostage taker something for me. I have to go to the detention center. I can't start the trial until I've talked to Athena.
She's already given her consent. I'll accompany you to the detention center.
So I'm still being watched, huh? I'll see you in court, Edgeworth. Even if it will be an undocumented trial, it'll be good to face you in court. Again. Oh, that's actually so cute! Oh, I've missed my boy! Plus I love voicing Edgeworth, it's fun! It's fun to put on the posh accent and go, even if it were to be an undocumented trial, it'd be good to face you in court again. It's so good! Oh, I've missed you, Edgeworth, and your cravat! Oh, so good! God, you're a god among men! Astounding! Time is fleeting! She was right by my side only a few short hours ago. But I feel like I haven't seen her in ages. Oh, Mr. Wright. Pearly too. I knew you would come. After all, the first step in the interview is with the defendant. Because you're my friend and I was worried about you. Yeah. Thanks, boss. I'm not the only one who's worried about either. Really? Who else? Saw Miss Woods today. Oh, she was so beside herself she came to find me. She told me you used to live in the Cosmos Space Center. No wonder you knew so much about the place. Oh, so you know, huh? I'm sorry I didn't tell you. It's alright. But there are some other things I'd like to ask you. Sure, you can ask me anything. Promise I won't keep any more secrets from you. Tell me about the day Clay was murdered. I was actually in the Space Center that day. In the Space Museum. Right where the culprit fled to? Yeah, that's not good. I could never fully deal with what happened 7 years ago. But when I saw the center again during the news coverage of the Hat 2 launch, I thought maybe if I went there things would be different this time. That must have taken a lot of courage to paint your past like that. So I went to the Space Museum the evening before the explosions. This was before the launch pads had been activated. There was a sign that said closed for repairs, and they weren't letting anyone in. Yeah, but I couldn't very well switch the pads if there were people in there. But I snuck in anyway. Did you want to see that Hat 1 group photo? That one with your mother in it? I did. But what I really wanted to see again was Her jacket, that jacket on display, that was Dr. Sykes? But I should have known it wouldn't be easy to get over such a traumatic experience. The second I saw that jacket, it all came rushing back to me. It's actually really fucking deep and sad. Jesus Christ, this is heavy hitting all of a sudden. Fuck! Everything around me went hazy and I couldn't see. I tried to get out of there somehow, but I guess I passed out. When I came to, I was in the passage behind the rocket. I was in the shadows where people couldn't really see me. Maybe you got confused and went the wrong way when you were trying to leave?
How long do you think you were unconscious, Nina?
I was out until about noon of the next day. I didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody was around, so I just went out into Boarding Lounge too. My mind must have still been fuzzy because my memory is vague after that. I don't remember how I got home. No memory, huh? Ah, this is gonna be tough. Which means... What if I'm one who killed Clay? I think that's enough of that, Athena. Let's talk about something else. So, during the entire incident, she was unconscious in the Space Museum. Of course, I believe her. But, well, anybody else? What kind of research was Dr. Sykes, your mother, doing? Machines that can tell people's emotions by their tone of voice. And my special ability. Someday when people travel to distant planets, their companions will be robots. So she said that they had to be able to understand how their human companions felt. Wow, robots can understand people. I was just a convenient subject for her research. All she ever did was work, and she never paid any attention to me. Oh, sorry about that. Dredging up all that old stuff. No need to apologise. I guess her home life was complicated. Oh, by the way, Miss Wood said something about you were always wearing headphones.
She always wore those big heavy looking headphones. She said her brother made them for her as part of her research. I had to wear them every time I went out.
Oh, I hated them so much, but she wouldn't listen. What were they for? Oh, she gave me some kind of explanation, but I don't remember now. It was too difficult for a little kid to understand. Okay, but let me say this one thing. I don't think your mother only thought of you as some handy subject for her research. You wouldn't believe that, but just about the only things my mother left me with her widget. And this earring. Oh, it's beautiful. Made of a piece of real moon rock she had for research. Maybe she did love me. In her own way. I'm sure of it. I'm really sure she did. Because that's what I believe. That's what I want to believe too. I'd better ask her a little more about her mother's research. I should show her that paper I found in the robotics lab. Which one? This one? Oh, the Bravo series. You must have gone to the robotics lab. You seem to really love Ponko and Clonko. Yeah, my mother made them and I grew up around them, you know?
Oh, there's one of those cute little robots in the swallow, too. See Bunga's bandages? I put those on her. I just wound them round and around. Pretty bad job, huh? But I really put my all into it. I left the center in those days, so I didn't have any human friends besides Junie. I didn't really understand the difference between robots and people back then. I thought that if a robot broke, the bandages would help it get better. What a weirdo I was. So there's something written on the bandages. Yeah, I wrote stuff like, get well soon, Ponko. Things like that. But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in flash. Oh, that must be the thing I made move in the robotics lab. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me, what she could do. She seems to have good memories of it. On a different subject. Did you hear about the person holding up the Space Center? Yeah, a little. And this person is even taking hostages? I guess I'd best spare the news about Trucy. Well, after some negotiating, we agreed to do a retrial of the case from 7 years ago. What? You're kidding me? So that means Prosecutor Blackwell might... Yep. I know he's innocent. I just have to prove it. So, wait. Did you know him back then? Yeah. He used to come visit my mom a lot. He studied psychology under her and would sometimes ask for advice on his legal cases. He was very kind and considerate and straight as an arrow. Unlike now, where he's more twisted than a basket of snakes. That's why I took the witness stand during his trial 7 years ago. Please, you have to listen to me. Oh, God damn her. This is fucking heavy hitting, dude. Gee, the music as well does not help. Fuck. He didn't kill her. He's always screaming that he didn't kill her. I was a fool. Does anyone else know what I was talking about? She heard the voice of his heart. You were only 11 then, right? You were very brave to just to give testimony. Bells is right. Did the very best you could at the time. But nothing I said did any good. I was a shaken and scared little girl. Small and ineffectual. Even after I went to live with relatives in Europe, I stayed closed up in my shell. But you're different now. You're always so bright and cheerful. Thanks. That's because one day I came to realize that I had to fight. And study hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. I wanted to save Simon, but I had no idea how. Then I met Mr. Wright, and thanks to him, I realized that if I became a lawyer, I could prove that Simon was innocent. I also realized that psychology could help me do this. I mean, psychology was my mother's specialty. When I studied it, I felt like she was with me, supporting me. It doesn't seem like Athena knows. Prosecutor Blackwell is due to be executed tomorrow. I wanted to prove Simon's innocence personally.
I wanted to do it so bad. Even now. I want to fly out there and save him. Come to think of it, she said something like that during the Themis Legal Academy trial. She mentioned there was somebody she wanted to save. She must have been talking about Prosecutor Blackwell. Some prison guards say that you had an interview with Simon? No, I can't tell her. What was it? How was he? What did he say? No, I can't tell her. Oh, but how can I lie to Athena? He was doing well. He was happy about the possibility of being proven innocent. He was? I wonder if he smiled, like he used to, back then. Oh, if I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial. Just Ace Attorney. It's good game. Very dark, though. Well, sad and depressing, but it's good. I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I just have to free him. Failure is not an option here. Oh, hello. I thought you might be here. Mr. Lawyer, we're in trouble. We are? What is it? I couldn't find a single open courtroom. They're all in session. Oh no! But this was an emergency! It's very difficult to interrupt a trial once it's underway. Yeah! Same ring tune as ever. I told you I'd give you 1 hour. I guess it's time to pick one of the hostages. No, wait. We still have a little more time.
Oh, right. Makes sense now, right? Understand.
Yeah, a bit random, but there we go. Live streaming.
Right.
Besides, all the courtrooms are being used right now. Make all the excuses you want, but you won't get more time. Your daughter is first. The poor thing. She's a little too young to die, don't you think? No! Don't you dare hurt her! Oh, there has to be something I can do. Can't be happening! Oh, Mystic Maya! Help us! Wait a minute. Maya? I heard someone that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom. That must have really been something. Well, weird is part of the course with you. The courtroom blew up. That's it! There is a courtroom we can use after all. Okay, time's up. Too bad. Any last words you'd like to say to her? Aura, please don't add to the crimes you've already committed. So you know who I am, don't you? Wasn't like I was trying to keep it secret anyway. Ready to start the trial. We can hold it in the ruins of courtroom number 4. The one blown up by the bomber. Say Shakira, spit your words out. I do play other games on here as well, yes. All of those who watch this after the fact, please do watch those other videos. I do have also want to start trying to make more in real life stuff, so vlogs and stuff, but haven't really had the time to yet. Oh, I want to play Davis, Nick. I never would have thought of that. An astonishing trial, an astonishing location. I guess it's only befitting. I'll go get the place ready right away. I didn't exactly pick the place for its astonishing. Doctor, how about it? You ready to have your brother's innocence proven?
My brother? oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did I forget to mention it's not Simon you'll be defending?
What? Not Prosecutor Blackwell?
I indict Athena Sykes on the charge of murdering her own mother. You'll be defending the little princess there, the one behind the glass.
What? This is taking things to a whole new level. I'm kinda scared. I don't know what's gonna happen.
See you in that mountain of rubble you've chosen for our courtroom, Mr. Right. What's she talking about? Theatre?
Of course. Why did it never occur to me before? If Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent, somebody else had to have been the true culprit. Did I kill my own mother? No. What? What? Shit. Fuck. No way. It can't be true. Mr. Nick, what's the matter? I see 5 black cyclops. I've seen these kinds of locks before. Dark, black locks protecting a secret hidden deep inside a person's heart. And there's no way to remove them. Anyone else feeling a little bit overwhelmed and on the edge of their seat? Yeah? Thank God it's not just me.
I have an affection, so it's like really hard for me to talk without people not understanding what I'm saying, if that makes sense. Yes, pretty bad at the moment. Oh, you should do some vlogs. You should do YouTube or something.
Well, that's what I live stream to. Because I live stream through my PS5, I do it straight to my YouTube channel because it's easier that way. However, as I say, it's all just live streams and games that go onto my YouTube channel. I do have 1 or 2 like recorded videos, but like nothing much. Yeah, I just want to get into it more.
I think it'd be...
Right, let's start this final trial of the main episodes of Dual Destinies. Or part of the final trial, it seems, because, well, Prosecutor Blackwell is going to be executed tomorrow, then it's probably best we do it today, which most likely means we're going to have to do this in one shot, aren't we? Yeah, I think we are.
I did a little research. I looked in those special cyclocks you mentioned, Mr. Nick.
You did? Oh, that's great. I really appreciate it.
A red cyclock protects a secret a person is consciously trying to hide. The person falls into questioning, the lock breaks, and the truth comes out. You know that.
Yep, that's exactly how I got the truth of Detective Fulbright and Director Cosmos and a whole ton of people before that. But that's,
But a black cyclock protects a secret from the deepest place in a person's heart. A secret that person isn't even consciously aware of.
So even they don't know it's there.
Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, a part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself.
Okay, so all I have to do is break the cyclocks. According to my research, a black cyclock is like a heavy chain wrapped directly around one's heart. If they are ripped off by force, it could cause permanent damage to a person's soul. In other words, if I'm not careful, I could traumatize Athena for good. Pearls, could you, stay by Athena's side? Cheers. She must be suffering under the weight of such a heavy burden.
Alright, but will you be alright by yourself, Mr. Nick?
I'm up against Edgeworth. To be able to give this trial all my focus and strength.
You can't do that, fine there. I'll just tone you back.
No, that's not it. I just meant I can relax and concentrate if I knew you were with Athena. You're the only one who can do it, Pearls.
Alright, I'll do it then. Good luck, Mr. Nick.
Good. Now that my mind is at ease, I'd better get ready. I'll just tidy up the evidence and take out what we don't need. It's time to end this nightmare that started 7 years ago. December 20th. District Court. Courtroom number 4. Defense, prosecution, and judge. There are even people in the gallery. The roof has been completely blown off and the walls have collapsed. But today, this ruin is my battleground. And Clonko's at the stand. Why? Court, or some facsimile thereof, is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Not a facsimile, old man. This is a proper official trial. Take this most seriously, or you'll start hearing the bones of the hostages. Snap.
Please try not to get upset, Miss Blackquill. I'm begging you. Court is now in session for the very serious and very proper trial of Athena Sykes. This is no trial, nothing more than a ridiculous farce.
What did you say?
Edgeworth, did you not hear what I just said to His Honor? However, this ridiculous farce has a very important meaning for our legal system. Recall the case of the UR1 incident, in which a prosecutor was found guilty of murder. That case ushered in the odious dark age of the law.
I see what you're after. If we can find the real truth behind that case today.
Precisely. And the darkness will be dispelled, and glory shall be restored to the court system. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you sound as if you know something of this truth. I do indeed. A new suspect has emerged in the UR1 case. For 7 years, Simon Blackwell has refused to speak in order to cover for someone else. This is our Phoenix. Here it comes. I'm sorry, right? But the situation is what it is, and I must do what I must. The prosecution moves to indict Athena Sykes on the count of murder in the first degree. Ooh. Okay.
Regardless
Ooh.
the circumstance, I intend to question the defendant with all I have.
Fair enough.
For that is a part of my creed.
Oh, you glorious man.
Then you'd better bring it.
Ooh. Ooh.
If the two of you are ready.
We get more voice lines from the judge. Yay!
Court is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Your Honor, the defense was born ready.
Yeah, she does do that.
Prosecution is also
That was actually sick. That was sick. Also, the fact that you just see the rubble behind everyone, the broken shards of wood, the wire poles sticking up from the concrete walls that was this courtroom. Oh, it's just so good. Such good world building. Even though it's just a courtroom, it's so fucking good. Oh, I love this game so much. This immense tension between us. So we're picking right where we left off. It's my duty to clear Prosecutor Blackwell of false accusations and end this insanity. But I have no intention of losing Miss Sykes either. She's a very promising young lawyer. I don't without a doubt that Athena's innocent. But I don't think Prosecutor Blackwell did it either. So, do you have any clue who's responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy. The true culprit is a spy. It's gonna be hard to convince anyone of that when I barely believe it myself. But I don't have a choice if I want to save Athena and Blackwell to expose the spy.
Now then, Chief Prosecutor Blackwell.
No need for the Chief Prosecutor, but Your Honor, I'm here as a simple prosecutor.
Very well. Your opening statement, please. Prosecutor Edgeworth, not Blackwell. You're not Blackwell. God almighty. Although, I've been known to of late to give an impressive opening statement myself.
All trials I've ever seen, only the prosecution gives an opening statement.
Of course. You're right. I was just joking. Just having a little fun, you know.
So he wasn't doing them just out of fear. Interesting. Let's start with a brief overview of the UR-1 incident. Now, the incident occurred at the Cosmos Space Center 7 years ago on October 7th. The victim, psychologist Mattis Sykes, was killed in the robotics lab on the 4th floor. Athena's mother. Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor at the time, was found guilty of the crime. There were two deciding factors that led to his guilty verdict. One, Blackwell was the only person in the corridor to the lab at the time of the murder. And two, this photo, which captured the moment of the crime.
It's very incriminating evidence indeed. It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackwell did indeed...
Hold it.
Are you kidding me? I'm not accepting any conclusion of the kind. Somebody's statement is over. I'll hurry up and call the witness.
Excuse me, Miss Blackwell, but we must follow proper procedure for these things, you know.
Or perhaps we should heed her wishes, Your Honor. She is the trial's sponsor, after all. Besides, the courtroom is chilly, and sitting for too long can't be good for your back.
Oh, well, you are very kind to show such concern for the welfare of the elderly.
Her skill as ever playing the court puppeteer, I see. The prosecution calls its first witness. A witness who decided to bring forth new testimony after 7 long years. New testimony? Just who is this witness, anyway? Blackwell? Fulbright? Wasn't expecting you. Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice we trust. What are you doing here? I'm just here to speak to the hostage taker. Oh, okay. Miss Aura Blackwell. She says she's too busy with the confining and threatening the hostages and all. That doesn't stop her from constantly chiming in through Clonco.
I'm nothing more than an observer in this. Do your best. I'm watching you.
Believing her brother is innocent, Miss Blackwell has been conducting her own investigation. And, though her current actions are hardly lawful, I think we can at least hear her theory. I have here Miss Blackwell's notes on the investigation she conducted. And I've been giving testimony based on these notes. Here I go. Wait for it. I need to do this bit of the song, as always. Oh, I love Blackwell's theme. Not Blackwell, I mean I do enjoy Blackwell's theme, but shut up! Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover someone. Someone else was at the scene at the time. They say Simon committed the murder. I mean, if he really was out still at Moonrock, then why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside, that's why. And the only person smart enough to fit inside that case was Athena Sykes. And that's Miss Blackwell's theory. It totally goes in the face of the official ruling, huh? But in the case she mentions, there are other rolling cases like that one in the lab. But they're not for traveling, they're for apparently moving parts and equipment. I vaguely remember seeing 3 cases, all different sizes. In the last trial, they thought the prosecutor Blackwell used the case to steal the rock. And they had perfectly good reason to think that too. You see, there's a security camera in the corner of the Lee's robotics lab. And that camera captured footage of Blackwell leaving the scene with the case. I can see why that footage helped to bring his trial to end quick. Oh, it's very convincing, that's for sure. That case, by the way, was later discovered outside on the Space Center grounds. Speaking of after the incident, where was the defendant to say Athena Sykes found? She was found on the 5th floor of the Space Center in the Sykes family residence. Prosecutor Blackwell most likely brought her there after the incident. In addition, it's unknown where Miss Sykes was at the estimated time of death. Miss Sykes was too confused by the shock of her mother's death to give proper testimony. There was no witness or evidence to tell us where she might have been. So what you're saying is Miss Sykes didn't have an alibi. That is what the evidence is saying, yes.
I understand the reasoning behind the theory, but I'm far from convinced. The victim is accused mother. You're actually claiming an 11-year-old girl.
Of course, the girl had a very strong motive. Dr. Sykes was a psychologist who wrote many papers about speech and emotions. You're aware of his, Sykes' special ability, aren't you, Your Honor?
Are you referring to that therapy thing? Well, yes, she's done it quite a few times in court.
The ability to read emotions from speech. And the subject of her mother's research. A guinea pig, if you will.
Well, as long as it befits society, I don't see any particular problem researching it.
I don't like where this is heading. Not one bit. Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, he forced her daughter to undergo experiments.
What? Is she suggesting?
I've done my best to be delicate, but even you can't deny it to be true, Mr. Wright. No longer able to withstand the anguish of the experiments, Miss Sykes felt her only choice was to kill her own mother.
Order in the court. What a tragic story. I hardly want to believe it myself, but we must proceed. Miss Wright, if you could, Detective Wright, please refer to notes.
Hold it!
So, Prosecutor Blackwell willingly accepted a death sentence to protect someone else? Yes, that is precisely what Miss Blackwell appears to believe. And that is what I believe as well. Prosecutor Blackwell is no murderer, Mr. Wright. But Athena Sykes certainly didn't kill anyone either, Mr. Edgeworth. So it appears neither of us can afford to go easy on the other. Fine. I expected no less.
Oh, I remember this tense atmosphere. It's so... invigorating.
I'm only reading notes here, but yeah, I feel extra invigorated too, so let's keep going.
Hold it!
That's just speculation. Objection! No, Miss Blackwell has proper grounds for claims.
Objection!
Then why didn't you say so in the first place? You're the... Now I know what they mean when they say close enough to argue. Moving on.
Holding!
This wrong case. I suppose. Oh, right, of course. Reading them now. Swear the wrong case. Okay, no, I don't. No.
Holding!
How do you propose to hit a person in some one of those cases? Have you forgotten that we saw just a thing only the other day at your own daughter's magic show? She fit a grown person into a small box. Oh, yeah. We'd ruin the memory of a good day. A magic show? Oh, I wish you would have thought to invite me. Actually, I would like to go too. My apologies. I'll invite you both next time, I promise. So, wait a minute. What are we talking about again? Prosecutor Black was using the case to hide someone.
Holding!
But that's nothing more than conjecture. It's hardly the only possibility. In that case, what do you think Prosecutor had in that case? I don't think it was the moon
Objection!
rock. There were 3 cases of the scene where Prosecutor Blackwell used the largest one. The moon rock was egg-shaped and only about 8 inches in diameter. It wouldn't have made any sense to use the larger case than there to just to move that rock.
Objection!
Be that as it may, it doesn't prove Miss Sykes was inside. Then let me ask you this. Can you come up with a better theory of what was in that case? Well, Mr. Wright, can you? Yikes, give a guy some time to think. Let's see, should I try to bluff my way through what could have been in that case? Always bluff. I know exactly what Prosecutor Blackwell carried from the scene. I just have to find something else that was missing, right? No sweat. Oh, I'd be very interested in hearing your theory. It's true, that is. There's a crime scene photo taken after Prosecutor Blackwell left, correct? All you have to do is compare this with the photo of Prosecutor Blackwell to see what's missing. If he took something with him, then it should be in one of those photos. Lady, look, don't fail me now. Alright, Mr. Wright, now let's hear your theory. What did Prosecutor Blackwell take from the scene of the murder? The arm.
Take that!
Please notice that there's a robot part on top of the cart in this photo. However, in this photo taken after the crime, the robot part is gone. In other words, this part is something that was taken from the scene of the crime. It would appear to be right, I don't see it in the second picture. But it's just a piece of junk, how important could it be? Is it really just an insignificant robot part? Speaking of which...
What are you looking at? I'm gonna start charging for every glance per eyeball.
Stingy, stingy. What happened to the age of free previews? Your Honor, about this robot part. Doesn't it look like it could be an arm from that robot there? Well, now you mention it, it does, doesn't it? But the case is still too big to be practical for just a moon rock and a robot arm. Was it really just the one arm that was in there? If it wasn't Athena in that case, then maybe... Yeah, I believe there was another robot in the scene that looks just like the one here. Your Honor, his defense is assertion that this was other robot, that it was this other robot that was in the case. What? What do you mean?
Objection!
Objection! We can't be certain that that part belonged to a robot. Yes, it looks like the arm of the one before us, but it could be something else entirely. Besides, it's wrapped entirely in bandaging, making it very difficult to verify what it is.
Objection!
I know for a fact that it is a robot arm. I can even tell which robot it belonged to just by looking at it. With this information, we can investigate whether it was there at the time or not.
But Mr. Wright, I thought you were more technologically illiterate type. When did you become such an expert? I feel somehow abandoned.
Not to worry, Your Honor, I still know next to nothing about machines. But I know this piece of evidence proves which robot the arm belonged to. I'm going to assume it's this.
Take that!
The robot in this picture is named Ponko, but take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that.
It wasn't for the machines heal the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. Reminds me of my own grandchild.
The robot arm in the crime scene had the same bandaging wrapped around it. In other words, this robot arm could belong to none other than Ponko.
Order in the court. Order, I see. That's a good Edgeworth. What do you have to say to this?
I can see that the robot is about the same size as a child, but it cannot grab its knee and curl itself up into a ball. Even if it was the largest of the cases, the robot couldn't have possibly fit in there.
Yes, does seem about mid-high on Mr. Black Widow. I see your point. The robot is much taller than that.
They've got me there. So did Prosecutor Blackwell make Ponko fit by dismantling her? Of course Ponko fit. All Prosecutor Blackwell had to do was dismantle her. Once taken apart, the robot could have easily fit inside that rolling case. It appears to be a robot assembly device. Disassemble anything in a flash. Press the dismantle button. Sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Rodney?
Sounds rather violent, but Mr. White does have a point there.
Except that there was a body on the table where robots are dismantled and assembled. There would have been no room to take the robot apart. But what if it wasn't done on the table? What if the katana was used instead?
You mean sword?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Blackwell, I'd like your opinion as a woman of science. Isn't it true that the katana could have been used to take the robot apart? I suppose so. The joints are made of a very tough material. A blade could slice through them. I gave her expert opinion, Miss Blackwell. Thanks to you, we now know the existence of the severed arm in this photo proves that Ponko was taken apart. In addition, since the rest of Ponko is not found at the scene, we can conclude that the true meaning of this photo is very different from the original interpretation.
You can't mean...
That's exactly what I mean. This photo does not capture the moment of a murder. It is instead the picture of the moment after the robot was sliced apart. The blood you see where the arm was cut off was transferred there by the bloody katana. Most likely the rest of Ponko is scattered around Prosecutor Blackwell's feet. Not hearing this. Therefore, what was transported inside that case was not the defendant, but a robot. Miss Sykes never was at the scene of the crime, the scene of the murder. What was that? Oh, my head, my body, where am I?
Order in the court.
It's true that Ponko was found in pieces after the murder, and I'll admit I repaired her myself afterwards. Yes, I'm finally making some progress. Hopefully I've gotten at least one step closer to proving both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell innocent.
Objection!
Well played, Mr. Wright. You've made your point abundantly clear. I can see that it was the defendant inside the wrong case, but the robot. All right. What's going on here? Oh, it's never good when he plays things this straight. Does prosecution withdraw its claim the defendant was carried from the scene? No, Your Honor. My claim hasn't changed.
Objection!
But Ponko and Miss Lakes couldn't have both been inside that case. The notion that the case was used to carry Miss Sykes was Miss Blackwell's theory. I have been on a different opinion from the outset. Now, I finally have the opportunity to voice my theory. Thanks to the defense. Edgeworth. Oh, he's been one step ahead of me this whole time.
In that case, how do you propose the vendor left the crime scene?
Simple. The footage shows Prosecutor Blackwell from behind. Once more, he's holding his arm in front of his body, as if he were holding something or someone. That's hardly evidence. I have proof. The surcoat Prosecutor Blackwell was wearing, the victim's blood was found on the front of it, and the stain had a highly distinctive shape.
Blushing? A distinctive shape? Please continue, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
7 years ago, the defendant was known to constantly wear a certain item, of which there is only one in the world, a special pair of headphones made just for her.
She was one of these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said his brother made them for her as part of her research.
Analysis showed the bloodstain to be in the exact same shape as these headphones. In other words, this was no mere blood splatter. The blood went from the victim's body to the headphones and then was imprinted onto Prosecutor Blackwell's coat, like a stamp.
A most gruesome stamp indeed.
Blackwell carried Miss Sykes, who had been hit by a splatter, away from the crime scene. This proves what Athena Sykes was, without question, present at the crime scene. And that
concludes the prosecution's argument. Oh, sir. Well, if the defendant was indeed at the scene, it deepens the suspicion against her.
Objection!
But we've also shown that the robot was there at the scene as well. I hope you're not making the ridiculous claim that a simple robot was the real murderer. I don't really think that, no, but you can't say the possibility it isn't there. Detective Foreman, was the robot questioned at the time? No, I don't see any record of it. I believe it was considered unrelated to the case. But as it turned out, the robot was actually integrally related. Your Honor, the defense would like to pull Cole Ponko to the stand.
Robot witness? Why am I surprised at this point? I mean, we've had a parrot on this stand, for God's sake. We've had worse. Order in the court, Prosecutor Edgeworth. What do you think about this?
Mr. Wright has called all manner of witnesses to the stand over the years, so why not a robot? Nothing surprises me anymore with him.
Very well. I will allow the witness. Bailiff, please summon a robot named Ponko.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is not Witness. My name is Ponko.
Yes, I realize that, but when you're on the witness stand, you are the witness.
No, I'm not. I'm Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko.
What an utterly inflexible little robot. I actually quite like this sprite in 3D. I quite like that sprite in HD 3D. Oh, look at him squirm. You're the last person who should be calling anybody inflexible.
Remind me of my grandchild who just learned his own name.
Oh, how precious. All right, Ponko. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Questions? You have questions? Hooray! What are your questions?
I want to know if you were there at the scene of the murder of Metis Sykes. It was seven years ago, on the 7th of October, around 2 p.m. in the robotics lab.
Certainly. Just one moment. Searching data. Search complete. Yes, I was there in the robotics lab.
It would seem this robot's testimony is necessary to this case after all.
This is great. I just knew Ponko must have seen something important.
A murder committed right before this poor little girl's eyes? Well, it's inexcusable. Just seems ready to adopt Ponko as another grandchild. Oh, little Ponko, do you think you can give us our testimony today?
I went to the robotics lab around 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Bobby Metis. And then Bobby Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room, and Mr. Simon came in. And then an error occurred. There was no data after that point.
Hang on a second, sorry. Sorry about this. I haven't really eaten all day. I'm so unbelievably hungry. So I have this moosey thing to the side of me. I've resisted it for so long, but I'm like, I don't particularly want to pass out, especially not on live stream. That wouldn't be a smart idea, really, would it? So eating, eat I shall. Once or twice, nothing too much though. Well, it sounds like the defendant was, without question, unseen. However, it doesn't appear that the witness saw the actual moment of the murder. I disagree. His testimony shows the defendant did indeed commit the crime. What? At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that this witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited. So what are you suggesting? The witness's statements need to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down. Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child. They don't, but, yes. What this witness's statements are telling us is that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon during this movement. What? Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said. Athena was usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean they argued. I see. Murder after a heated argument, and then the victim fell down. However, Mongo doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode, but I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory.
You may as well admit defeat now, right? A cross-examination would be useless. Don't be ridiculous. Cross-examination is never useless. Until now, think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time. Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination. I see you haven't changed. You never were one to worry about wasting time. Very well. Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright. I have an idea. I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be. I have an idea. It's the line about the fact that she fell down. She didn't fall down because she was on the chair. So how could she fall down and then obviously later be on the chair? I'm gonna give it a shot. I could be on the complete wrong line of questioning, but I'm gonna give it a shot.
Objection!
Completely wrong line of shot. Another finishing expedition, Mr. Wright. You haven't changed one bit in 8 years. You haven't changed either, Your Honor. And I think he really hasn't. I firmly believe people should continue to grow and evolve throughout life. Even at my age, I still have a lot to learn, especially from the younger generation. Though maybe not from you, as you obviously still have a lot to learn as well. Gah! I guess I better take another look at the evidence. Okay. Fine.
Hold it!
Press and guess then. I have my theory. It went out the window. You press and guess. Your regular recharge what is that exactly?
I had to refill my battery's power or else I stopped working. I go to the lab to do that.
So that recharge occurred around 2 p.m., around the time of the murder.
That's right, I go every day at 2 p.m. Got that?
Hold it!
Hugged her, huh? Which Edgeworth took to mean stabbed her with a weapon. You said the two of them were talking before Miss Sykes hugged her mother, is that right?
Yes, they were talking very loudly, but I couldn't tell what they were saying.
Couldn't tell. Even though they were speaking so loudly.
I'm only allowed to listen to voices that are directed at me.
If it listened to every voice, it would be a little better than a mobile eavesdropper. Well, that explains why some of Ponko's testimony is so vague. It's a shame that our little friend wasn't listening in. However, we could have learned what they were talking about just before Dr. Sykes was killed. Now then, what happened after that?
Hold it!
Sorry. Still so very hungry. I don't want to delve too deeply here, but could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment?
Mommy Metis was surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound.
Her heart? Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab? These robots have a heartbeat detection system. Now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that in there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. But wait a minute. That means Dr. Sykes really did die this moment. Ponko, how was Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat?
Let's see, the moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then.
Of all the lucky timing! If you had heard anything after that, could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't the moment of the murder.
I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry.
The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing.
After Mommy Metis' heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room.
The workbench, huh? Pongo must be talking about the table that's to the right of where the giant robot is now. Is there something critical in Pongo's statement just now? Always something. Your Honor, I believe this statement is critical. I'd like it added to a testimony. Very well. Pongo, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl.
Objection!
Ponko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough.
I was helpful? Hooray! I'm so happy.
Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, her body was discovered on the operating table. The operating table and the workbench are two different locations. Exactly, Your Honor. We've just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the two very different locations of the body? I'll tell you what. The victim moved. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved a heavy body of an adult, so the only explanation is that the victim walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Ponko observed near the workbench couldn't possibly have been a moment of the murder.
Phew, I'm very relieved to hear that. The murder wasn't committed in front of little Ponko here. Yes, as we just heard in the testimony, Dr. Miss Sykes hurt her mother. Nothing more.
Objection!
Right. It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever. Green? Oh, but I don't ever recalls me seeing Mr. Wright in anything but a blue suit. What do you mean that he's sick? I can't tell. Hey, blue's my favorite color. What did I say? If the woman couldn't move the body herself, she could have had it moved for her. Moved for her? But Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones in there. I agree. Since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude the defendant and the victim were the only ones present. And who do you suggest move the body? Don't you know it's the nature of a robot to help people do things? Miss Panko, allow me to ask you a question.
My name is Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko.
I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Do you happen to move something large onto the operating table?
Yes, I did. Athena asked me to.
Athena asked you to? And what did you move, little Ponko?
I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is.
ID tag, you say?
Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scan them to tell us what a thing is.
A paper in the lab did mention something about that. It recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag, it said. So it would appear that Miss Panko here can't identify what it moved.
My name is Ponko.
But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not? We do? Well, I do at the very least. Miss Panko, on the defendant's command, moved the body onto the operating table. Ponko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. There isn't any way you could tell?
I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell.
Give it up, right? The victim's heart was stopped. A robot detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it draped over a chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object.
Objection!
But Ponko was equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did move the body, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't, so that means...
Objection!
Her face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, or a mask, or anything else for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't have been able to tell it was Dr. Sykes. Oh, he's right. To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench, then, using the robot, she moved the body to the table, where she removed the sword and was stained in blood. Order! But if that's the case, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? A question we'll find out, like I say, in the next episode. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help. Click the bell icon down below to be notified when I live stream or upload video. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!